Deakin University Senior Women's Match of the Round, a special ANZAC Day special at Cheong Park. We've got the senior women's South Croydon playing Boronia ahead of the senior men's game at 2:20 p.m. between South Croydon and Boronia. Two big Premier divisions in our two senior competitions. I'm Ryan Long, Media Manager with the EFNL, joined by Chris Curtis for what is going to be a massive day out here at Cheong Park. And there's been a lot of talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm sure it will rain at some stage. But at the moment, sunny conditions and potentially really good conditions for the senior women's game today.
No, you're exactly right. I want a day for it. I'm hoping the rain stays off until after the senior men's match because I don't want to be caught in the middle of it on
that's right.
on the boundary line. But no, for today, it looks absolutely stunning. Obviously, the occasion of the ANZAC Day matches, and it's great to see that we're down here at Cheong Park for the whole day, really getting a good display of what these two clubs have to offer across the grades. I'm for sure it's the under-19s out here now. So, yeah, looking forward to a really good game and definitely in the senior women's fixture, a really close contest.
Yeah, that's right. That under-19s result, 5 minutes into the last quarter, and Blackburn 14-8-92, leading South Croydon 2-4-16. But here for the senior women's game, of course, the live stream, the game starting at 10:40 a.m. today. Two Premier Division sides. We saw a lot about South Croydon last year. We saw them live a few times, including that grand final win over the Eastern Devils. So the reigning premiers, we know what to expect from them every time we go and see a South Croydon game. But for Boronia, it's a new coach in Sean Bunkle. And we'll be able to speak to him before the game. Has a lot of experience out at Port Melbourne, VFLW Premiership coach, and they've been able to recruit really well and started off the season fantastic with a big win over a finalist from last year.
No, that's exactly right, and I think obviously in that game, they'll clearly the better side, clearly deserve the win. I'm interested to talk to Sean Bunkle, just see how some of the translation has been from obviously his VFLW Premiership, I believe was in 2023, to how we're going so far with Boronia. But yeah, look, we're in for an absolute corker of a game. Obviously Boronia last round, I've just got it here, last round beat White Horse Pioneers, conceded in the first quarter, one major, and then didn't let them score for the rest of the game. So absolute shutout performance there, but South Croydon are also quite fast starters. But yeah, so I think we're in for an absolute corker.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're certainly right. You're on the money there, and we do have the South Croydon senior coach in Simon Hammersley in the media van with us at the moment. Simon, great to be here for a special occasion.
Good morning, guys. Yep, got a nice sunny day so far, so it's a good start.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously coming into this game, we've talked a lot about you guys from last year, and we saw you live. We didn't see too much of Boronia, but clearly they've been able to recruit quite well and had a really impressive performance last week. So could be quite an interesting game.
Yeah, we were expecting a very genuine contest today. So Boronia, as you said, been a good program under Scott for a long time with the two sides and ticking along. And appointed Sean's a fantastic coach this year and added some depth to their side. So yeah, we were absolutely expecting a great game of footy.
About your side, one key note. Nicole Garner, obviously appointed senior captain this year. We've obviously seen her play quite a bit and know what she can do on the field, but talk a bit about her leadership qualities and some of the things that she does off the field that makes her such an important player at the club.
So she's just an incredibly humble human being. So every person at every level across the club she has time for and is always very calm and measured and not too quick to be critical of different things or different people, just very pragmatic about, okay, let's work our way through this, let's work out what we can do better. And just across the whole club, she's just a genuinely great human being, and we're fortunate to have her playing footy with us. And it was sort of the right thing this year to put her in charge of the side and just mix up our leadership a bit, just to go in the direction that we want to go in the long term.
Yeah, and Simon, when we spoke before the season, you mentioned that you're really happy with where your list was at. Obviously, a good win last week. Have you kind of got your main course set in stone here, or is there still a bit of fluctuation just as the rounds go on that you're expecting to see?
Today it's a bit of a complicated thing. We've got lots that are VFL aligned that are playing VFL footy at the moment, and then depending how they roll and whether they're rolling players back into the VFL and those players come back looking for a game of footy, we don't really know. In terms of our genuine side, every week available, then it's pretty well. What we've got out there today is going to be close to it. So we weren't really electric last week is probably the word I would use to describe it, but we We got the job done. So yeah, there's plenty of room for them to sort of keep improving and growing as the season goes on. We're certainly not at our absolute peak yet.
Yeah, brilliant. And last week I noticed you kept Vermont scoreless throughout the first quarter. You're looking to, kind of defend home turf and really keep that defensive side to start the game, or just looking to use the pitch that you know to get on top of them and put points on the board early?
Yeah, so fast start, absolutely not characteristic of us. That's probably the first one in 2 years where we got out of the gate. So yeah, it was nice last week. They were good from the start, and probably a little bit about the way that we were playing offensively rather than just a defensive thing. And it's very hard if the team's on top and rolling well on the offensive side of the ball to slow it down and get stuff happening yourself. And then to Vermont's credit, after quarter time, they really changed the shape of the game, and we battled to sort of work our way through that and get back on top again until late in the game. So they're an improved side. I think that most people sort of around watching the Premier Women's stuff would say they're going to be an improver this year, and they certainly showed us some stuff last week that we need to improve on. But yeah, we could get a fast start again more than one time in 2 years. I'd be pretty happy to coach.
And obviously, talking about that game, one of those key players was one of your recruits in Monica Latino, and we've seen her a bit at Donvale over the years, and you can probably play her in just about any sort of position. We've seen her run through the middle, kick goals up forward, but also play a defensive role. Is that sort of what we're going to expect, a bit of, a few different positions? And is that just the perfect player to have, knowing you can, depending on the game, you can always move around?
Yeah, so yeah, you can play a game of Spotto today and see if you can work out where she's in a given moment in the game. Absolutely. So Mon's just an incredible decision maker and user of the footy. So that's really where that flexibility comes from. So you just have complete confidence that if the ball is in her hands, that there is going to be a good decision made and something is going to happen next. So we're just fortunate again. She committed really early last year, November, that she wanted to come and play footy and just play Premier footy and be the best player she could be here, whatever that meant. And yeah, she's just up for trying whatever needs to be done to help the team. And like you said, she can go anywhere because the ball's in her hands, something good's going to happen.
Fantastic. Well, we're very excited to see South Croydon play this morning. All the best today. I'm sure we'll hear from you across the game.
Thanks guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming up.
Simon Hammersley there, the Premiership coach from the South Croydon Football Club, has done a great job with the club, and it's very exciting to be able to see the reigning premiers in action today. But we do have also the Boronia senior coach and Cheong Park about to join us in just a moment, who's about to enter the media van now. And great to have you on board, Sean. First time for the match of the round, and very exciting to be playing on ANZAC Day, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's obviously a very special day for footy, and I've always loved the opportunity to do it. And yeah, first time coaching it, so I know the girls are very excited to be here. Absolutely.
We saw the result last week. I don't think anyone would have been surprised to see you win, but by the length of the margin that you actually got up against a finalist side last year, how did you see the game play out, and where did you get on top in that game against Whitehorse?
Yeah, I don't think we were probably expecting that either, but everything just seemed to click on game day. They've had a great pre-season, been working really hard on the game style, and we had a really strong team in, and I think we had nine debutants, so it was a very different looking team from last year. So that's probably a big explanation behind the difference in results. But I think our mids really got on top and were dominant through the middle. And then once we got it inside forward 50, I think we just set up so well behind the footy. We just kept it in our forward half for most of the day, and probably weren't really clean at the start of the game. It took us a while to sort of find those targets inside 50, but because we had that front half dominance, eventually we just sort of overwhelmed them, and the scores started to hit the scoreboard. And credit to the girls. They could have probably taken their foot off the gas, but they actually just got better and better as the game went on and keep working hard.
Absolutely. And how have you slotted into the club? Obviously, Scott Nicholas still with Boronia, and I saw him at the ground here today. Has that been a big help to have him? Obviously, has been around the women's program for so long, with you every step of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott's a fantastic guy. He's really highly admired at the club. He's been a crucial part of the women's program, as a coach, but also, he's been an administrator of the program, and he's the footy manager this year as well as a coach. So he works so hard behind the scenes to get everything up and running for the girls. And obviously the club itself's amazing. There's, it's like a great family connected community club. We've got masters, 2 women's teams, 18s. We're all training there on the same night on a Wednesday, so such a great vibe and feeling around there to have so many women participating in the club, and just the integration between that and the men yeah, I feel like it's been an amazing fit for myself, and so yeah, proud to be part of the club and coaching the group.
And last week when you played Whitehorse, obviously you conceded the one major in the first quarter and then kept them scoreless for the rest of the game. Obviously a brilliant occasion here today, but you are away from home. Are you looking to bank on the ability of your team to keep South Croydon to a low score today? Or are you just looking to go out and really impose yourselves on the match and try and put points on the board?
Yeah, I think each week's different, and you kind of got to reset and go again. So for us, that was probably the message, that think about, what made us successful in that first game. The simple things being, first to the footy, being really hard at the contest, staying balanced, doing the work defensively. And if we go back to those, simple things and just do it over and over and sort of pound the rock, I think, regardless of who we play, we think that we've got, a bit of a method that works. So that's, pretty much the message, is to go out there and really replicate what we've done against, I would say, obviously a stronger side today.
Yeah, brilliant. And I noticed you guys have a percentage of upwards of 1,400 and you're still not top of the ladder. What's the key to getting a win here and really making a push for the top?
Yeah, I think for us, like I said, just sticking to the process, and South Croydon, we admire them. I think they've been really one of the benchmarks in the women's club. So we see it as like a great opportunity where, week in, week out, we want to compete. But especially these weeks, a great opportunity against, the Premier to have a crack. So the girls are pretty, rezzed up. And for us, just the way we play the game and the spirit that we want to see is the big stuff. So how hard they work, how connected they are as a team. And we think if we just stick to those things, then the scoreboard will look after itself in the long run.
And just on this game as well, no Rachel Slater playing today. He's at VFLW this weekend. But one of those players last week that really impressed was Jasmine Coney, who's new to Boronia. Does she play sort of a similar role through the midfield, or tell us a bit about her and sort of the impact she's going to have at the club?
Yep, Jazz is inside mid for us, so occasionally she'll maybe rotate down forward for a rest. But Jazz is a fine player. She's got beautiful skills. I think she's got great agility on the inside. Great sidestep to find herself some space. I think her work rate's strong, but I think her speed at the contest is something that's really impressive as well. So she's 18, first year playing seniors. She's come off, I guess, a lot of injury last year, and I just feel like she had an amazing start to the year, and she's just going to get better and better as she matures. So we're really excited to see what's ahead for her.
And just one other player as well, Rachel Quirk. I think she played the 4 or 5 games at the start of the year last year and then missed the rest of the season. Must be a big boost to have the skipper playing out there today in the ruck.
Yeah, absolutely. Quirky is just a phenomenal leader. She's obviously our captain, so wherever she is, the players around her just play better. So it's not only what you get from her in terms of her ability to win the footy, whether it's in aerial, ground balls, just her work rate defensively to get back. She gives you so much as a person as well as as a player. So she's just a crucial player to this team. So having her around the footy where the contest is really something we're lucky to have.
Sean, we're very excited to see Boronia play this morning for ANZAC Day. All the best today, and we're looking forward to watching the game play out.
Thanks, guys. Pleasure.
Thanks, Sean, for giving up your time this morning before a big afternoon ahead, a big game between Boronia and South Croydon. Two great sides in the Premier Division competition, both coming off wins last week, and currently in the under-19s out here at Cheong Park in the Premier Division men's. South Croydon trail Blackburn 3-5-23 to Blackburn 16-8-104, so their under-19s continue to impress. We've also got Kate Green joining us in the box ahead of the game. Kate, I'm sure you're very excited for this contest. We have obviously seen South Croydon quite a few times over the last 2 to 3 years. Boronia a little bit here and there, but having a look at the names on the Boronia list, there's a lot of new players, a lot of difference in this side. It's a new coach. I'm excited to see how they challenge themselves up against what is the benchmark of Premier.
I think it's going to be a great contest. I mean, as you and Chris have alluded to earlier, Boronia has recruited really well. You've got Quirk coming back from, a lot of injuries. I place Boronia as the dark horse because we know Boronia from previous years, but we don't know Boronia in this new setup of new players coming in and with a new coach. So I'm really looking forward to this game. And I think it's going to be hopefully as equal to the first round game that we had with Mooroolbark and Waverley Blues. That was brilliant. I'd love to have that again.
Yeah, well, it was tough to beat it, having a draw first up in the match of the round. And Chris, you were at that game, and that was obviously quite impressive. What do you make of this contest? I mean, it is a tough ask. As impressive as that win was last week, you come up against the South Croydon side, and without Rachel Slater, and I think Rachel Slater is arguably one of the best players in the comp when she's available. Obviously, with VFLW, she's not going to be available each week. It is going to be a massive challenge against this South Croydon side, particularly at Cheong Park too.
No, that's exactly right. And, I mentioned in the interview with Sean Bunker just before about their percentage after such a dominant win, but if you're looking for them, with all due respect to the White Horse Pioneers, they're obviously looking to contend against teams that are of a bit better quality at this stage and really look to be up the top of that table. So I think both teams are going to come out, given how big of an occasion it is today, and given the context of it all, they're going to come out firing. I really think that it's going to be teams maybe in the second quarter or the third quarter that can kind of withstand their pressure and their energy. So I'm probably looking at this one and saying South Croydon, given that they played a bit more of a competitive opponent in Fairmont last week and got out on top. Although Coach Simon Hammers has said they weren't electric, I think, they're defending their home turf. I think obviously we're going to have a great contest here today, but I think South Croydon might just have enough to get up on top.
Kate, what's your thoughts?
South Croydon bias when it comes to the women. I mean, I think it's going to be a really good contest. As you said, Slater's not in, and she always is the pivotal one we've seen that over the years for Boronia. But I wouldn't underestimate Boronia. I mean, I wouldn't underestimate them because one or two games in the last few years we have, and we've been shown a really gutsy, determination from them. So even though I say South Croydon, I don't think it'll be all South Croydon's way. I think it'll be really good for Boronia as a benchmark for where they are this early in the season, and something to improve on and tweak as the season continues.
I think the other person I actually forgot to mention was Delta Greendale out of the side as well, which is a big out as well, her run through the midfield. We watched a couple of games where she was spectacular. Yeah, just dominated through the clearances. So they've got a bit of work to do through the midfield, but I'm with you. I do think they have a really good opportunity to. I mean, you come into this game and you play a reigning premier, and we've got to remember where Boronia were last year. They finished 8th in this division. They were the last on the ladder, and they've already made some great improvements. They've recruited really well. So I don't think we're going to judge them today on whether they win or lose against the reigning premiers. It's just going to be where's the effort at, the intensity, and some of those things that Sean spoke about in the pre-game. Can they match that against South Croydon?
Well, it's really great for Boronia to be playing South Croydon this early in it, because it means that they know where they've got to improve, know where they've got to tweak their game plan and that. So having this matchup this early is all positives for Boronia, whatever the outcome is. So I still tipping South Croydon, but I'm really keen to see this new Boronia outfit.
Yeah, as they come out onto the field for Cheong Park right now, the under-19s have finished. Blackburn winning 17-8, 110-3-5, 23 South Croydon. But back on this game and Premier Division, Chris, as well, I think we're getting, at the top level at Premier, it's getting tighter and tighter each year, and we saw that last year, and I think coming into it, the Devils were the red-hot favourites, and they were winning each week and looked the dominant side. They lost last week against South Belgrave. South Belgrave have done really well in the recruitment department too. We've seen Boronia pick up players, Chris. It could be one of those seasons where the top 4, you could potentially win it from any spot.
No, it's exactly right, and it's great to see, especially from our perspective, because we know that when we come to these games, we're going to get some terrifically fought-out contests. And obviously, looking at the round 1 results, you can't read into it too much because of who was matched up against who, or really it's just 1 week. But I think you're right, as the season goes on, we're going to see a lot more of these teams bunch up towards the top, which is great to see, but also it means that when they're playing each other, those games become that more important. They're almost 8-pointers, because not only you picking up 4, you're stopping a direct rival from getting 4. So it's really interesting to see how that will play out throughout this season. I think that also means that because these competitions are so close, teams with the better depth will obviously be in much better stead because, you know, throughout the season, I think nearly every coach I've spoken to doing our pre-season articles has mentioned, we got unlucky with injuries. So, you know, when those injuries do hit, if you can still continue to pick up the points and just keep rolling and put pressure on the other teams around you, I think it will put these teams in a great stead and it will make for great viewing.
Yeah, I certainly agree. And these two clubs, Kate, are the perfect definition of clubs there with great depth. They've both got a development squad. South Croydon's playing in Division 3 and potentially could go very far in that division. And then Boronia's playing their first game this year tomorrow against Nuttawading in Division 4. So that speaks volumes of what not just the club has done, but the group themselves, the fact that they've got such a great culture that the numbers keep coming back and keep coming back in more numbers.
Well, South Croydon, I think I put up there with North Ringwood. We all know just what a great culture and development and the talent coming through from North Ringwood. Got the same here with South Croydon, and Boronia's always, you know, been strong cultures. So that's really fantastic for all the teams. And as Chris said, you know, injuries, outs. Hopefully, no one's going overseas this year because that always
issues, isn't it? Though?
Then you know it's Premier Division. I think the top 4, like Chris said, any of them can win, and I think it's going to be a really great competition. Really great competition this year, actually in all the divisions, and I'm really pleased that women's footy continues to grow bigger and bigger every year. Yeah,
you're absolutely right, and they're not the only game playing today for the senior women's competition. Kilsyth also played Mooroolbark, and that game has started. It did start early. It was a 9:45 a.m. start, so that was an hour ago. So we'll try and keep you updated with those scores around the grounds, and hopefully get an update quite soon on how that game is tracking. But really exciting to see another game as well for the senior women's comp on such a big day.
That'll be another good game. Kilsyth's quite strong. Mooroolbark, as we said last week, really surprised because, you know, we all favoured Waverley Blues. We actually didn't call Mooroolbark for a chance at all, but after seeing them last week, that Kilsyth Mooroolbark game is going to be really a good one to watch and see what occurs, because Kilsyth do have a strong team.
Yeah, you're certainly right, and Mooroolbark as well. Some of those players from the under-18s that have come up. Tarly Steele was really impressive, Chris, last week, and if they can continue to, you know, bring those players from the junior level, they're going to be potentially one of those sides that could move up the divisions too.
No, it's definitely right. And, you know, it seems like every game now that we're at, it's more and more under-18s players that are progressing into the senior footy setup, which is terrific to see those clubs that are really good at setting up those pathways. And prime example was Tarly Steele when we were out there against Waverley Blues, was absolutely terrific in that game. So especially right, they have a lot of good talent, young talent down there at Mooroolbark, and if they can keep pushing, and it certainly adds to their depth, and they can certainly make a push to get up to the finals and be there at the pointy end of the season, namely because obviously Waverley Blues were tipped to be right up there as well. And if you can get a draw against them in round 1, it will just be a question now of if Mooroolbark can keep up that pressure and keep up that form.
Certainly right, as the two sides get ready to go for this big game. Potentially there might be a pre-game ceremony for ANZAC Day. Looks like the sides are actually lining up.
I think what they're doing, there was also a mention of them all lining up just together, and potentially of doing a circle. Simon and Sean were speaking about that earlier on before you gentlemen got here. So I think that's what they're doing at the moment. They're doing a circle just in appreciation of each other and each other's clubs. And as you can see, they're doing side by side with your opposition, which I think is great. This is something that we saw down with Ferntree Gully. They did the same thing. So I think it's fantastic for this to be the situation.
You're certainly right. Great to see ahead of the big game today, the two Premier Division clubs, and There's our man Davis Harrigan getting some snaps for the Instagram. The catfish, Davis.
Iconic white wide-brimmed hat as well.
That's his favourite, isn't he? I don't think he's ever replaced it either. He's been running with that for about a decade, but great to see you out here at Cheong Park. Final tips. You've both gone South Croydon. Margin?
Yeah.
Have you got a margin?
I don't like giving margins
You don't?
because I'm new. Because no matter how close or how distant, I don't like putting the jinx, a caller's jinx, because I've done my first one, round one, and I intend fully not to do that again. So South Croydon.
South Croydon, Chris.
I'll go South Croydon by 7 points. I feel like every one of these that I'm at, the underdogs up at one stage, or it's a very close game. So I'm going to go South Croydon by 7.
Oh, I like it. I'm going a little bit more. I'm going South Croydon by 20 points, but I think this game will be pretty tight across the morning. Kate, we'll let you go down to the boundary and get ready for a massive game ahead.
And the hugs.
And the hugs.
Sorry. I like my hugs.
So we're about to go in just a moment. The coin toss with the two skippers. And it looks like Quirk has won the toss for Boronia. It looks like they might be kicking to the left side of your screen. The South Croydon will be kicking to the Eastfield Road, which Kate says there's a bit of a wind going down that way. So we'll see if that plays a factor, particularly early on in this game, this first term. But as we said, Chris, perfect conditions at the moment.
Exactly right.
Stays like this, we'll be pretty happy.
No, that's for sure. Ground is perfect is a call from Kate Green as she's making her way down there, which is excellent. So obviously Cheong Park looking like an absolute carpet out here, which is terrific, albeit with the cricket pitch in the middle, but everywhere else is just about as good as you can get, which is terrific to see. We've got the weather set up for a great day of footy. We've got the pitch set up for a great day of footy. We've got the occasion set up for a great day of footy. And now we just need to sit here and enjoy the games that we have ahead of us.
Absolutely right. We're almost ready to go. And that is correct. Boronia will be kicking to the left side of your screen. Thanks for joining us on EFNL YouTube this morning. Big afternoon ahead. We've got the senior men's clash between South Croydon and Blackburn on YouTube and Facebook, as well as Radio Eastern 98.1 FM. And then tomorrow we've got the double again. We're out at Warrandyte Reserve for the morning, and then Vermont for the afternoon for the men's clash against Doncaster East. But right now, Premier Division Senior Women's Footy about to get underway. Round 2 out at Cheong Park, ANZAC Day. Chris Curtis to take us underway.
And just like that, we are underway in this occasion of all occasions as Quirk gets the first clearance, working it forward for Boronia. Bit of a tussle on the edge of the 50. There's Morel Lily Gray Studies looking to pick it up. Just a bit of rough footy there at the moment, a bit scrappy to start off with. And I believe we'll have a ball up. Yeah, it looks like so. The umpire will call for the ball just inside the arc. So the Rucks will nominate now. So Boronia getting the first of the territory wins. So the Ruck will win the ball, bring it down to Perrott. He looks to get their handball out the back. They have to go backwards to go forwards here, Boronia, as they'll do just that. I believe that's Quirky. It's a handball over the top, back to Perrott. He throws it on the right boot, looking for a target. It's a 2v1 there, and South Croydon will win out with the intercept mark. They're well set up in defence with a spare behind the ball, and they have some numbers out on this broadcast side, and they get that out to Rachel Giddens, who just chips one down the line to Sarah O'Toole, who now look to just chip one out again and finds a target in number 12, Chelsea Wilkinson. So South Croydon with some uncontested marks so far as they look to take a bit of distance of the pack under it. Very well taken intercept mark as Boronia will look to repel now. So there's a few shouts around the ground that we can even hear in the van here as the pack's forming under the footy. Will drop out the back to O'Toole, gets hands off it, clears the 50 for now, but only by a very shallow margin as the ball finds itself into a bit of space. Again, the Bulldogs with a spare number behind the footy. Goes over the top, couldn't quite reach it, was Vikov. As now South Croydon will look to repel. Number 24, Nicole Garner, the skipper, gets the ball off to Smith, who looks down the line, and it's going to be tapped by, I believe, Taylor Black. And the footy's found its way out of bounds. So another stoppage. So Boronia with the early clearance, not able to get a score on the board just yet, as South Croydon will now look to use the familiar Cheong Park and their knowledge of it to get forward. As they're on true centre wing here, as the ball will go up again. Rucks play their craft again. It's a Boronia tap out to advantage, but it only goes to the South Croydon player. As the kick now will hit space, Boronia with a few spare numbers behind the ball, so quite defensive setups early on from these two sides in this encounter. As Jennifer Wren gets the ball to Hammersley, who steps inside, throws it on the right, looking for a teammate, and finds them in Katie Prendergast, who kicked the goal last week, and will look to make it 2 in as many weeks. As she takes a mark, a brilliant bit of work from South Croydon there. The player on the mark is maybe 20 metres out. Quite a slight angle. So it's Katie Prendergast for the first score of the day. Kick is on its way, and it is as good as you like. So South Croydon hit the board first on their home turf. Scoreboard reads 1 goal flat 6. Boronia yet to score, and it was great job from South Croydon from that throw in just inside the boundary, or that ball up just inside the boundary line to get the ball forward and find a target.
Yeah, certainly right. They do that really well, the transition footy, and really good from Hammersley there. Just a bit of composure, got around one, and then lowered the eyes to hit up a target, and just a perfect finish in front of goal for Prendergast. So her first of the morning, and South Croydon moved to 1 straight 6 to Boronia. No score. 3.5 minutes gone in this opening term. Back in the middle it goes. And Quirk with the tap down. Goes to Coney, who's new to the side this year. Was really impressive last week. Free kick going to Rachel Quirk, the skipper of the Boronia side this season. She kicks towards the half-forward line. It's intercepted. McMillan picks that one off. And she sends it back towards the middle of the ground at the back there. Doing well was Wren. Just fell into her lap, and the kick is perfect in the direction of Black. Couldn't quite take the mark. Boronia looking to mop this one up now through Baldwin. Box Hill VFLW listed. Got the handball off, and they try and get this ball down to Phillips. Does well. Just got her hands away. No, was throwing the ball. So a free kick here going towards South Croydon. And it'll be Prendergast who kicked the last goal, taking the free kick. Started this game well. And the intensity has been there for both sides in the early stages of this first term towards the half-forward line. Clears everyone's head. Who's going to run onto this first? Black might be able to get there off the ground. Taylor Black. Of course it's her. And she puts through South Croydon's second. And they move to 2 straight 12 to Boronia. No score. And they almost had to raffle that off between her and Martin, but was able to get front position off the ground and finish nicely.
We've got boundary side of Kate. Go and Kate, what do you got for us?
Clearance is 3-all, inside 50 marks favouring the home side, intercept marks favouring the home side, inside 50s favouring the Boronia, and free kicks there equal 1 apiece.
Thank you very much, Kate. It was Taylor Black just with a volley. The ball wouldn't quite sit up for her. And it's the best players that can just make it work in the moment, as she does just that. So South Croydon with an early 2 majors, as Boronia will look to win the clearance again. Haven't quite got reward for their territory earlier on in the game, as the more that the stoppages pile up, the more you feel that South Croydon can get on top of this, as Nixon is around the footy, kicks it off the ground in the direction of Monica Latino. We've got her written down as playing everywhere. We're not quite sure where she's lined up, as she's such an impactful player, but the ball hit the turf and quite a high bounce at that, as it's tapped forward, or punched forward rather, by Bethany Goodall. Here's Wren, who's been brilliant in the forward pocket. Got tackled as she kicked it, but it will drop again to Goodall, who's wrapped up in the tackle. Ball spills loose, snap around the corner, will fall short. Boronia need a repel here, and Wellington will absolutely hoof a ball that will just go outside the boundary line on the full. So it will be South Croydon to bring this ball in, but it's been Jennifer Wren a couple times. She's playing mid-forward, maybe that half-forward role on the wing, who has a foot in her hands now that has been quite influential so far for South Croydon when they get forward momentum. As she'll look inside, and kick will drop short. It's Latino who bobbles it in one hand, gets it around the corner. Shot is on target, and a brilliant bounce. We just said we had her down as playing everywhere, Monica Latino. She popped up in the midfield before and is there in the forward line. And as a pick-up over the off-season, that is about as influential as you can get. Was in the best on votes last week. Ryan has now kicked South Croydon's third unanswered to start this game.
Yeah, I know we don't have the Tobin Brothers goal of the day today, but that's a clear contender if there was one. That was a fantastic finish, and as you said, couldn't have started any better to this South Croydon side. Was listed as their best player last week in their win against Vermont, and an early goal for her. And she was playing defence just before I saw. So obviously it's just so handy where you can move around in practically any position.
That's why Simon wrote down everywhere.
That's right, as South Croydon again linked up. Smith with the ball, tackled by Phillips, and we'll get a ball up back in the middle again. 7.5 minutes played first term. South Croydon 3 straight to Boronia, no score. And they look to move this forward again. Phillips is able to trap this up, and we'll get a ball up in the middle. I don't think she played too much last year, Phillips, but when they had the Premier Data stats for Boronia, she was averaging just about 45 touches a game. So I expect to call her name a little bit crisp today, as they'll get a free kick in the middle here, the Hawks, and forward they go again. South Croydon have really set up well behind the ball, and O'Donnell might earn herself a free kick. In fact, that's Garner, the new skipper of the Dogs.
Boundary.
Let's go down the boundary, Kate Green.
It was called high.
Thanks, Kate, as she hits up a target as well. Short kick forward to Smith. In front position, was able to take the mark on the far side. Smith goes down the line. It's a one-on-one contest. Slips through the hands of the Boronia defender there. A good pressure laid. Grabbing this one was Phillips, got the handball forward. Again, she's going to find hands to the ball, but this time wrapped up in the middle by two South Croydon players, and we'll get a ball up.
So Boronia able to have a bit of centre stoppage dominance here, but not able to put anything on the scoreboard. So it's a push free kick. It's going to go to Jennifer, and he started off this game very well, and he's now doing some relief rucking as the first choice ruck gets a rest, and it's a good mark. Just outside the edge of the forward 50, taken there, I believe, by Heidi Sadler, who will kick it into the player on the mark, and it's been scuffed out. Now Boronia need to do some work. Coney gets a clearing kick. South Croydon set up very well behind the ball. Always seems to have a spare back there at the moment, which is working out very well for them, as Nicole Garner has the footy in her hands. Fakes a handball, throw it on the right boot. Ball will drop into space. It's out the back. Boronia have numbers. It's one-on-one contests out there for now, evenly matched up. Boronia will look to bring it out. No one can really get clear hands on the footy as it's brought out. Umpire says fair handball, play on. Now a great tackle in there from the Dogs, but the ball's still come out. Boronia can't quite get it clear at the moment. Wren's around the footy, but they'll go backwards to go forwards through McMillan, who will throw it on the boot forward. It was under there, was Smith, but the ball dropped to the ground. Now Boronia plays with them, the numbers advantage in their defensive 50 as they'll look to bring it out through Quirk. Nice little handball chain here for the Hawks as they've brought it out. And the kick will be intercepted, unfortunately, by Hayley Brenner. So Boronia look good there, looking to bring the ball out, but just couldn't quite clear their lines completely. As the ball's gone up, it's off hands. Players almost smothering themselves as Prendergast gets a deep handball over the top. Now it's out the back, and it will be Smith around the footy. Boronia looking to bring it out again. It's thrown on the left boot, and the mark will be taken by Jasmine Coney. So a chance for Boronia maybe to slow it down here, as the ball's gone up and over the top, and it's on this broadcast side wing, and it's a one-on-one battle for the footy. The South Croydon player did well to win out, as Boronia did well to lock it in as well. So it's going to be a free kick, I believe, just for diving on the ball. It's a South Croydon free kick, actually. So with ball in hand is Hayley Brunner, who did well in that contest to win out. We'll now assess her options forward of the footy. Kick went close to the player on the mark, but the mark was taken by Paige Dean with the intercept. So both sides managing to set up extra numbers behind the footy, but Boronia need a score as they look to go forward here. It's almost a 4v1 in the marking contest, and it was the Boronia player, the one that won out, in Cadler Schmidley, who had 3 goals last week, or last game. He's pointing to the stick saying, go deep. The player on the mark is just inside the forward 50, so it would be quite the impressive kick as Schmidley walks in. Kick will fall short to the top of the box. It's a holding free kick going the way of Boronia. So despite what seemed to be a 7-2 advantage around that goal square, Boronia making 2 big wins when they've been the minority in these contests, as the ball is in the hands of Kelsey Turns, I believe. Player on the marks, maybe 15 out. Turns, kick is on its way and opens the scoring for Boronia as they get their first major of the day. It was a big win from Schmidley in the first contest to get the free kick, and Turns gets the free kick there. 2024 Eastern Rangers player and on the North Melbourne VFLW list this season, and showing exactly why she's rated so highly. As the scoreboard now reads, South Croydon 3 goals 18, Boronia 1 goal 6.
Yeah, well said, and as you said, 2 players new to the club already making an impact. That was really well done there from the Hawks, and a much needed goal. They move 1 straight 6, trailing 3 straight 18. Back in the middle again it goes. South Croydon with the clearance towards the half-forward line, bounce over the top, and wrapped up in a tackle there was Denny. And we'll get a ball up about 60 out from the South Croydon goals. Going down to the Eastfield Road end of the ground here at Cheong Park. Phillips in front position. Was able to pick it up as she was tackled. Sean Clark to ball this one up. Garner. The handball back to O'Donnell. Bouncing footy forward, gets past a few. Grabbing it again, there was Denny, wrapped up by 2 South Croydon players, and we'll get a ball up. In the same position again, about 60 out from goal. Quirk out of the ruck. Black finds the footy for South Croydon. Her kick is intercepted. Phillips, the kick was smothered by Hammersley. So it comes out and back in the hands of Black. Just gets boot to ball. Look to try and link up now. Garner wrapped up in another tackle, and Boronia have just been able to slow down South Croydon's scoring while being able to score 1 themselves, which is impressive. And here they go again through the middle of the ground. They look good as they move the ball quickly. South Croydon again got some numbers set up behind. One of those Marshall, Curran there as well. Marshall tapping it forward. Almost picked up now by Burkett. She does. She gets past 1. Breaks away. Her kick towards Schmidley, and she's got it. Great mark, great leading, and a great kick. And this is a chance for Boronia to get their 2nd in a row and bring this margin back to 6 points. And we saw her kick from outside 50 before, Chris, was pretty good. So I don't think distance will be an issue for her. Bit of an angle. We're right in front of this one. Schmidley comes in and just to the left, so it's a minor score. Boronia moved to 1-1-7. South Croydon 3 straight 18. We've played 15 minutes into this first quarter.
Boundary.
Boundary side of K Green.
Clearances Boronia's way, 6-5. Inside 50s, South Croydon 2-1. Intercept marks 3-2 Croydon. Tackles 7-4 South Croydon. Inside 50s favouring South Croydon, and free kicks, they're both equal on 4.
Thank you, Kate. Some very interesting stats there, as was Latina with a handball over the top, who's now in defence again as South Croydon look to bring it out, as they'll get some space and be able to chain another handball in the link-up, as they now look to go by foot down the far side wing. In pursuit is Black. She's chased by Denny. This will be quite a match up here, as Black has enough time to wheel around, assess her options, still with a footy in hand, snaps it around the corner. There's Boronia players out the back. Ball will hit the deck. Goodles around it, as now players will swarm the footy, and the umpire will call for a ball up. So Taylor Black able to get out there one-on-one and just assess her options, as there is a ball up now, maybe 30 metres out from the Bulldogs goal, as it's Goodall again with another strong tackle. And Boronia do want to add pressure and bring the footy to the ground, and it'll be another ball up. So no movement on the territory side, as it's Quirk in the rucks nullify themselves, as again we'll have another ball up. So South Croydon have it locked in their forward 50 at this stage, as the rucks will go at it again. Boronia win the tip. It's out through the hands of Goodall, who elects to shield. There's Griffin, who has to go backwards to go forward for the Bulldogs here. Ash O'Donnell gets the handball off. There's Garner. Gets the kick forward. It's a good entry, but it's a terrifically taken intercept mark there from Boronia in the form of Shay Denny, who will look wide. We'll find Rachel Quirk, the skipper, who's been good in defence so far and even in the ruck when she's needed to be. He'll now look to take territory. Kick goes into the centre of the field. It's come off hands. Footy's on the ground. South Croydon swarming around it. One of them is Latino. And umpire will call for another ball up. So we're in the centre square now. So Rucks will do their work again. Ball almost dropped out. 2 hands pushed forward from the Bulldogs as Boronia will look to bring it out once again. Katie Prendergast nearly jumping on the back of her opponent to lock the tackle in. So we'll have another ball up. So very stop-start now in the last 2.5 or so minutes as Quirk will win the tap. It'll fall to the Bulldogs first as they look to come out through Garner, who sends it forward. Now 2v2 in there for the Bulldogs. Black able to just assess her options again. She's being afforded a bit too much time for a player of her quality so far.
Be able to shut down so many attacking options, and when they've looked their best, it's when they've moved the ball forward through the midfield, and they might be able to do the same here, Boronia. Quirk, the handball just missed the target in Dean, picked off by O'Toole. Sort of socketed that one off the ground, and we'll get a ball up again. Coming up to quarter time here, there's less than 30 seconds to play. No real advantage to that hit out.
Boundary.
Tapped off the ground, and we'll go down to the boundary with Kate Green.
Initially, in the first 10 minutes, they had 2 players on Taylor Black, but in the last 9 or so minutes, that's kind of dropped off to just 1.
And there's your siren for quarter time out here at Cheong Park. It is ANZAC Day football, and South Croydon lead it 4 straight, 24 to Boronia, 1-1-7. Chris Curtis, the goals in that quarter for both sides.
Yep, so we've got only single goal kickers at this stage for South Croydon. Taylor Black, Katie Prendergast, Monica Latino and Tanika Martin. And for Boronia, just the single to Kelsey Turns.
Well, they've done it again, similar to last week. South Croydon jumping out of the blocks, 4 straight, 24 to Boronia, 1-1-7. We'll go to a break before we're back for the second quarter and hear from the coaches on the ground. Welcome back to the Deakin University Match of the Round, ANZAC Day edition out here at Cheong Park. South Croydon versus Boronia, Premier Division clash in the senior women's competition. And at quarter time, South Croydon leading 4 straight, 24 to Boronia, 1-1-7. Chris, what was your thoughts on that game, on that first quarter, should I say? South Croydon starting really well, but Boronia worked themselves into the game, and when they did move the ball forward and got a couple of forward 50 entries, they were able to hit up some targets. No,
it's exactly right. I think it was very interesting, especially early on. Boronia seemed to dominate the centre stoppage clearances, but South Croydon always seem to have at least 1 or 2 set up behind the ball as we go down boundary side of Kate Green.
I'm just trying to grab Simon. Simon, that first quarter you've got to be pretty happy with. The girls have settled in. What's the message moving forward?
We're getting absolutely hammered at the centre bounce at the moment, so they're all over us in there, which is making it hard on our backs coming out of there. But other than that, they played a good quarter. We had the win, so probably wait until half time and then see what that looks like, I reckon, because it's a pretty stiff win going that way. A lot of goals kicked that way in the earlier game as well.
Okay, thanks very much, Simon.
Just back in the middle, Brooke Smith will have a free kick here. Cop one hard in that contest. Or instead, it's actually going to be a ball up. And this time there will be a free kick, but it will be going in the direction of Boronia. And that was against Lucy Nixon. So the Hawks now a chance through Cleo Smith to move the ball forward. As Simon did say, there's a bit of a wind advantage to that end of the ground. Can they use it, the Hawks, this quarter? The clearing kick for South Croydon is going to roll out, and it's going to be a Boronia ball. So Matilda Burkett to take this one. That's 70 out from the Boronia goals. Can put this in the direction of one of her teammates and potentially get off to the perfect start to this second term. Bouncing footy. Couldn't quite find turns. And South Croydon now on the rebound are able to get this towards the wing. Phillips did very well. Pushed aside Prendergast to win that footy. But she's going nowhere. So we'll get a ball up 1.5 minutes into this second quarter.
So on the centre wing here in Boronia's forward half as they look to go forward through Paige Dean, off hands to Perrott, who kicks it inside forward 50. It's off the hands of the Bulldogs. They haven't quite cleared it yet, the defenders, as it will be Perrott with the footy again, who's wrapped up by Sarah O'Toole. We'll have another ball up, dead in front, 30 metres out. So a chance for Boronia, very important if they can hit the scoreboard here early on in this second term. There was an uncontested tap down by Turns in the ruck. But now South Croydon, like we just mentioned, and a terrific chase-down tackle. Absolutely brilliant pressure. It was Heather McMillan with a footy and just got absolutely hunted down. Wasn't aware of the Boronia player coming up right behind her. And as she looked to get the kick-off, was absolutely mowed down by, I believe, Jenna Bass, number 29. So she'll kick from about 20 to 25 out. As the kick is on its way on the left boot, and there's Boronia's first of the second quarter.
Boundary.
Boundary side to Kate Green.
Good timing. I'm just down here with Sean. Sean, you've got to be happy with that start. What was the message for the girls at quarter time?
Yeah, I thought we were a bit nervous to start the game and we're probably a little bit reactive. So I thought that was probably a step back from, what we'd shown in the last couple of weeks. So I think there was just a reminder for, what makes us successful. So being first to the footy, being really competitive. And can you sort of see the way they've started this quarter here? Just really confident, first to the footy, just willing to do the hard work. And then once we get that entry, like we've got a great forward line, it'll just score, as you can see. And then, that goal's just come from some great defensive pressure, which is what we love to see.
Thanks very much. All the best.
Kate Green, and as you can hear in the effects mic, the Boronia, not just the players, but they've got some great support who's certainly travelled to Cheong Park today, this ANZAC Day game. Plenty of brown and gold as they'll get a free kick again in the middle here. The handball off. Miller finds her target. And they're moving the ball nicely now, really strong in these clearances they've been. Inside 50 they go. A lot of South Croydon players around this. It could be Bass who might be able to win out. Lily Grace Murrell lets the ball slip out. Standing underneath it. It's a 2-on-1 contest. And the Hawks win out. Getting hands on this is Coney. Hits up a target. just outside 50. It's Perrott. She'll put it in towards the hot spot, standing underneath it. Couldn't quite take the mark there, could Brina. And we'll get a stoppage inside 50 for the Hawks. They trail by 11 points, but as we said, potentially that breeze is a little bit stronger than what we first thought this morning. Hammersley, tackled by Coney, and we'll get a ball up once again.
So the ball out 30 metres out from the Boronia upright, but South Croydon will look to clear their lines here, and it's the Hawks who have numbers behind the footy, one of which is a captain in Rachel Quirk, who steps inside, gets it on the right boot, leading up to the footy and taking an excellent contested mark. Is one of the Boronia forwards in Kelsey Turns, who opened her side scoring and got two hands to the footy and just almost palmed it down to herself there. So an excellent mark in the pack on Monica Latino as well, who is stood on the mark 25 metres out, slide angle. So it's Turns for a second of the day, and it is another brilliant kick. So Kelsey Turns gets her second, again showing why she's on the North Melbourne VFLW list. And our first multiple goal scorer is Turns, and Boronia showing, just like South Croydon were in the first quarter, that even with the wind, they can be very, very accurate on.
Well, let's see what South Croydon can do here in this centre clearance, because it has been pretty much owned by Boronia. They've done a lot of hard work to get those forward 50 entries, and as Simon said, their defence has been under a lot of pressure.
You mean Sean?
Oh, no, sorry, it's
sorry.
Simon has talked about their defence.
Sorry, boundary.
Yes, boundary.
Boronia is basically ahead in everything across the board, stats-wise, in this quarter.
They look like they're going to go forward again. Free kick in the direction of Coney. She'll send this deep into attack. Can they get a mark? Bounced off the hands. Garner got the handball to Curran. Curran clearing this out. That's very nice to O'Donnell. They've worked this well, South Croydon, on the outer wing. O'Donnell now to a one-on-one. Front position is Taylor Black. Takes the mark on the chest. A long way out from goal. She just slows this up to get a few more numbers ahead. Boronia have set up quite well. Out the back. Strong hands, and it's Martin. And should be still outside the arc, so uses Black running past. Gets past one. Puts it on the right boot and back in defence there. Great mark taken. And Boronia are able to reset. It's a dangerous kick. It's still 2-on-1 in favour of the Hawks, but certainly made them work. The handball there from Vikov. Now South Croydon. Short kick forward. Bouncing ball. Snap around the quarter from Wren towards the boundary line. Black bounces into her hands and looks to find Prendergast, who takes this great mark. And we'll have the set shot here. And just very smart from Taylor Black. Was very composed, didn't fire away, and looked for a target inbound. And she finds Prendergast, who already has one. She kicked the first of the morning. And this will be an important kick for South Croydon, just to steady a little bit. Boronia been on top lately. The kick from Prendergast, it's to the left, so it's just a minor score. South Croydon 4-1-25, Boronia 3-1-19. We've played almost 8 minutes into this second term.
So South Croydon with their first minor score of the day. It's a 6-point margin, 25 plays 19, still in the favour of the Bulldogs. As Wellington is going to look to bring it out of the goal scorer. We'll just look for distance, and there's quite a few Boronia players under it, but the ball's come to the deck. Wren was saying she was held without it. Umpire says nothing doing. Quirk gets the handball off to Vikov, who's tucked it under the arm and will run. Still Vikov here, hasn't elected to take a bounce. Well, handball over the top nearly to herself. The teammates will get involved now as South Croydon look to bring it out the other way. One of those was Steph Phillips, but now it's going to be Perrott coming out with a footy, who's had an excellent second term so far, but her kick will be cut off in defence. So Bulldogs will just look to swing the ball out through their defence. There's an uncontested mark taken, and I look to the broadcast side. It was off the hands of Brenner, and now Boronia have a chance to swoop as it's the Dean, Paige Dean around the footy. Been wrapped up in a tackle, and the umpire will call for the ball up. So a few drop marks throughout this second term for both sides. Maybe that wind having more and more of an effect as this game goes on, as it was Torcasio who was around the footy, but now looking to bring it out is Phillips. And the ball will drop to her teammate. He's tackled well by Garner, but it will be sent inside forward 50 by Moore, who goes in the direction of Cadler Schmidley, who's around the footy, has dropped onto it, tucked it in, got in a handball off. So play will continue and the Bulldogs will just rush her behind. So Boronia again winning the territory game. As we'll wait for the ball to be brought back in. South Croydon now with a 5-point advantage. So Monica Latino comes back off the interchange. It looks like she'll be going back into defence more likely.
Yeah, I think so.
So sending the experienced players back there is Coach Simon Hammersley just to steady the ship. What they'll look to do is they look to bring the ball in. Not sure if that'll be called for a ball up or last touch. It will be last touch rule, so Paige Dean will bring it back in. Who's been told to just adjust her angle slightly. She'll look for an entry inside 50 and will get it quite shallow. Schmidley's under it, got a hand to it, couldn't quite take it cleanly. As now the Bulldogs are looking to repel. There's Latino who throws it on the boot after a few smart handballs, and Prendergast is around the footy, dropping deep and runs into a bit of trouble. The ball spilled out. Around it is Brooke Smith, and there's another tackle. So Boronia is showing some brilliant pressure early on throughout this second term. As Steph Phillips has a footy again, she's starting to impose herself on the game. Gets it to Coney as your kick is high and deep, and it will drop into the hands of the South Croydon defender in Rachel Giddens. Who look to bring it out on the far side. So the Bulldogs electing to bring the footy out of their defensive 50 just by looking for some targets, not just looking to hoof the ball up the line. As Jennifer Wren's putting a bit of body work on, and it will be out for a ball up.
So 11 minutes played in this second quarter. South Croydon with a 5-point lead. So Boronia have been on top in this quarter. Certainly have potential to head into half-time in front. They link up here. Inside 50 they go again, just under so much pressure is this South Croydon defence. Here's Curran, best on in the grand final last year. Might come back, Coney wrapped up in a tackle, and they'll be holding the ball. Jennifer Wren kicking towards the middle of the ground, picked off this time by the Hawks, who go back into attack. Paige Dean slipped through her hands, but she was still able to find the footy anyway. Got the handball off. And they go inside to 1-on-2. Bouncing ball out the back. Falling into the hands here of Bass. Spins around. Throws it on the left. Boots. Got it. Boronia in front. 4-2-26. Lead South Croydon 4-1-25.
Boundary.
And another goal to Jenna Bass, and that was a fantastic finish, and Kate Green saw it from the boundary.
Just with the stats, Boronia has really deserved the last couple of goals that they've got, because they work great in the stats and clearances, inside 50s, tackles, and even in free kicks, is basically blown South Croydon out of the water this quarter.
Yeah, they certainly have, and Chris, it's a deserving lead, especially after a bit of a nervy start with South Croydon kicking the first 3. They've kicked now 4 of the next 5.
No, that's exactly right, and we heard one of the coaches say before, still with the win, I think it was Coach Simon Hammersley, the South Croydon team, that, they'll have to see at halftime really where they stand, and Boronia at the moment are doing terrifically, has to be said. Absolutely amazing kick from Bass there on the left boot. Around the corners, we'll have another ball up in the middle of Cheong Park here. I just had a quick check at my weekly tips and realised I tipped for Boronia in those tips and South Croydon on this broadcast, so I think I either win or lose either way.
Now he brings it up.
South Croydon will bring it out, and the ball will go out the back. The 2v2 down there. South Croydon got hands to the footy. It's going to be an awkward bounce, not quite favouring them, and it will come out through number 18 in Emma Layfield in her 50th game, but the Hawks will repel. It's a good tackle though, maybe bit off more than she could chew, and that's what the umpire agrees on. So it will be a hold in the ball tackle as we just get the ball to the right player here. I believe it's Nicole Garner. Might be Brooke Smith actually, but the handball's over the top. It's going to bounce on the ground. Not exactly an advantageous decision to make. As it was Elizabeth Griffin in the end with the 44 jersey on.
Boundary.
Free kick. Kate, what do you got for us?
Just interesting note, they've changed who's on Taylor Black in the goal pocket for this quarter.
So I believe that's Wellington that's been sound there. Schmidley's out the back and has a player even further out the back as the kick is on its way. Bounce did not favour her whatsoever. But still around the footy. He turns with the two majors looking to add to it and gets a third. So everything's coming up. Kelsey turns for Boronia in the forward 50 as she kicks her third for the day. Wow. As it was Schmidley who got out the back of the midfield group, and then it was one-on-one turns. The bounce did not favour her at all, put her up against 3 or 4 Bulldogs defenders, but snapped it on the right, a similar angle to where she kicked her first goal from, and puts number 3 on the board. So Boronia now with a 7-point lead, Josh. Ryan, sorry.
That was Marshall. This time the Hawks earn possession, and that'd be a holding the ball free kick going towards South Croydon. Trailing Boronia by 7 points, 16 minutes gone second term. They'd love to get one back before half time and even this game up as they go into the rooms. So they're going to look to use the hands through Curran. Curran in the direction of Latino, who almost stole it there from Griffin. Plays on right away, bouncing ball over the head of Black. She lails to the tackle there on Denny. There'll be a ball up at 20 out from South Croydon's goal. Boronia's defence now under a bit of pressure. Quirk with the tap down. Prendergast tapping it forward. And here's a chance for Nixon. Getting it towards the direction of Black. Quirk picks it up for the Hawks. Bouncing footy. Might work okay because Coney's there. Phillips too. Phillips gets a handball and they could get him here on the transition. They've got the players. Taking her time there was Vickoff. Down it goes towards turns. It's been very dangerous in this first half. Marshall did well. Got it to Curran. Again, Curran's been quite good this quarter. Looking for Smith. Hammersley's there too. Gets past one. On the right boot forward. And standing back there again is Quirk. Wrapped up in a tackle. Latina's going to pick it up here for the Dogs. And Quirk just never gave up on the play. Late attacker herself, Hammersley. High kick up forward. Phillips with the handball to Kufel. Back to Quirk. And they're off again. It's Vickoff down the wing it goes. And she'll kick this towards the half forward line. No mark taken. Curran's got a lot of work to do here as well as Marshall. Forward it goes. South Croydon have got the numbers and an important mark in defence there from McMillan.
McMillan wanted to bring the ball out just before Rachel Quirk put an absolutely monstrous shepherd on her direct opponent to allow that kick to go down the wing, but it's ended up in the South Croydon hands now. The Brooke Smith, the vice captain. So the Bulldogs just looking to slow the game down now as there's 90 seconds left, maybe stem the bleeding a bit. They only find themselves down 7 points. But since quarter time, have only managed to put one behind on the board as they look to add to that margin now. Or add to that tally now, I should say, as ball's going to be wrapped up as the Tino falls on it. And we'll have another ball up. Just on the wing there.
Boundary.
Boundary side to Kate Green.
I'm liking the Latino Quirk interaction.
It's a very good matchup indeed, as Kate just said there, as Taylor Black's around the footy now. Gee, maybe got tripped. The umpire agrees. So it will be Taylor Black with the footy. A very difficult kick to put on goal, so she'll look to set up a teammate here. She's hugging the boundary line, maybe 35 or 40 metres out. She just chips it in the direction of a teammate and finds the hands of Tanika Martin. He's already got one for today. Still on quite an angle, but the player on the mark's only about 25 metres out. So she's looking like she's shaping to put this one at the goals. Bit of a pack forming in the goal square, but the shot on target will be the intention as it's going to drop short to that pack. It's off the hands of 3 or 4 Boronia players as Quirk brings it out. He's had an excellent game so far, and if Boronia can get to the ball here, they might be out, but South Croydon do well to get bodies behind the footy and repel. But here's Coney, still no clear winner of the footy, as there's a free kick as the halftime siren goes. So South Croydon 4-1, 25 now, trailing Boronia 5-2, 32. The margin 7 points. Goal kickers for that first half so far. We still have singles for Taylor Black, Katie Prendergast, Monica Latino and Tanika Marmon. As on the other hand, Boronia, 3 goals to Kelsey Turns, 2 to Jenna Bass. As Boronia have opened a 7-point margin here at halftime.
Yes, we've got a game on our hands. Premier Division football on ANZAC Day. A 7-point lead to the visitors in Boronia. We'll be back for the second half action. Don't go away. Welcome back to Cheong Park, ANZAC Day, Senior Women's South Croydon versus Boronia, Premier Division clash. And it is the Hawks leading at halftime, 5-2, 32 to 4-1, 25. We're about to get underway for the third term. Chris, just your thoughts on that second quarter, really dominated by the Hawks.
That's exactly right. I think maybe I underestimated the wind going to the right of our screen, as Kate Green alerted us to before the game. It's definitely scoring in at the moment, but it's interesting to see how these teams will fare in the second half as we're underway in the third term.
Boundary.
Kate, what have you got for us in the boundary?
I am with Sean. Sean, you've got to be pretty pleased with that quarter. It was everything that you mentioned at the first break. So where to from now?
Yeah, it was an amazing effort. Just I think the willingness to compete, defend is exactly what we spoke about, and to the girls' credit, they came out, did exactly that. Some of their defensive pressure was what set up those goals, and I think we look really dangerous when we get in there. So we're pretty excited that if we just go back to the well, continue to fight really hard around the footy, drive the ball forward. If we can really bottle it up this quarter while they've got the wind, we know coming home in the fourth we're going to be pretty strong. So.
Any ideas about how to combat that wind kicking towards it?
Yeah, we've got some defensive coverage this quarter, so there's been some instructions just to adjust to the wind, play from behind. Plus we've got an extra play down there that's going to help us with that as well. So.
Okay, thanks very much and all the best.
Thanks, Kate.
One of those adjustments that might have been made that I've noticed now is I think Schmidley's been moved behind the footy.
Yep.
So she's gone from forward to defence to just add a bit of surety to that back line early on, as we're going to have another ball up as Paige Dean lays the tackle. So Boronia will be looking to just not give up a big score in this third quarter and set themselves up for a fourth quarter with the wind as Quirk brings the footy out. He's been absolutely terrific so far in this fixture, is getting hands to it. Was Torcasio Basilis 2 to beat and does terrifically at that. Getting the handball to Steph Phillips, who looks over the top for Perrott, who's got 1 to beat. Good bit of body work from the defender there in Brooke Curran. But now Latina will pick it up, shrug one off, still running. Throws it on the right boot, gets a lot of territory there, and Schmidley takes a mark and plays on right into trouble. Had a few numbers out wide as she just waited, but decided to go and put the pedal to the metal and got wrapped up in a tackle. So it's Jennifer Wren now with the footy.
Boundary.
Down side to Kate Green.
I'm with Simon. Simon, bit of a tough quarter, that second one. How are you feeling?
Yeah, look, it's just that's the tough part about playing with the conditions and the wind. We sort of knew that it was playing the ground that way, and they did a good job with it in the second quarter, and we probably didn't make the most of a couple of chances that we had going into it. So, yeah, that's a game. They're a good team, and you know it was going to be a good contest before the game. So, yeah, we've got to work hard this quarter to try and get something on the board that we can defend.
Any particular plan that you have for this quarter?
I can't give away all the secrets in case they're listening, Kate, but
I had to ask.
you have to ask.
Yeah, thanks very much, Simon.
So it's Taylor Black here, lining up for what would be her second of the day. Slide angle, kick will be taken for.
Sorry, dog on the field.
Dog on the field?
Just left the field.
As Taylor Black gets it on the right boot. Will it have the distance? Not quite, it will pull right. So hopefully that dog's off the field now. But Taylor
right in front
Black,
of us, Chris, actually, too. The South Croydon bench.
I think we're being jinxed by Matt Fortier. Ever since he said dog on the field, we seem to get a dog on the field at least twice a season.
Right, well that's another variable to look out for. I guess we've got the wind and we've got a dog running around. So, minus score there for Taylor Black, as Schmidley will bring the ball back into play, but will bounce straight out, and South Croydon will bring it back in.
So, as we said, 4-2 plays 5-2, the Hawks leading. Very important quarter for the Dogs here as Black, wide open, takes the mark. Fair way out from goal, and she looks like she might try and find a target forward. Puts it towards the top of the square. No mark taken. Kufel gets the handball off to Coney. And Smith wraps her up in a tackle, so South Croydon able to lock it in their forward half. Needing the first goal of this second term. A tap down by Martin. Here's Black. Dangerous as always. Right boot. The kick was smothered. Picked off here by the Hawks. They look to clear it out. Dean. Second grab. Got the handball forward. And pretty much to herself. She can manage to control this footy. It's a bouncing ball. And they do pretty well. Here's Burkett. Got around and finds a target in Quirk by herself. Played on, and she is gone. Holding the ball. Ran into trouble there, and it was a team effort from Latino and Wilkinson. And Latino earns herself a free kick, and such an important tackle, because if Quirk got through, the Hawks could be down their end right now scoring. Latino inside 50. There's your extra number for the Hawks, and Schmidley being able to contest that ball. Coney got the handball off. Trying to go forward there was Smith. The kick was smothered. Here's Martin, right boot, bouncing towards the boundary line. Actually, it's going to stay in. The Hawks have plenty of numbers, though. Big tackle laid by Bethany Goodall. And again, another big tackle, because the two Hawks over the top just had to hold that one up. Kate?
I'm just, again, the Quirk Latino matchup, it's incredible.
It's been fascinating, as a big tackle laid there by Wren, and has earned herself a free kick, Jennifer Wren. Holding the ball, and probably a bit of an angle, about 30 out from goal. Bazine impressive today. Pushing forward and running through the midfield as well. So Wren, kick on its way. It is a behind. So just a minor score. South Croydon 4-3-27, trailing the Hawks 5-2-32. We've played 6 minutes into this third term.
So 5-point margin as it stands. Taylor Black's just come off the field after popping a ball to the face from close range there. So I hope she's all right, but just waiting to get the footy back over the right side of the fence. Which we've got now. So Schmidley's there. Looks like Boronia trying to go quick, given that they're playing against the wind, but have run themselves into trouble a couple of times. As Schmidley's kick is going a full short. Give her teammate a bit of a task, but she'll do well to step inside and get the kick just in the middle of the field now. And a set mark taken by Abby Marshall. It is more or less unmarked, so she gets the handball off to Curran, who looks to step outside of her opponent. It does well and sends the ball inside 50. Wellington was under it. It's off the hands of the Bulldogs player, who will go backwards to go forwards, looking for a teammate. And the ball is dropped to the ground now. Plenty of pressure around it. Quirk's laying a tackle, and the umpire will call for the ball. So another ball up just inside the arc here in South Croydon's forward 50, as the ball's thrown onto the blue by Brooke Smith again. Intercept mark taken this time by Emily Wellington, who has been matched up on Taylor Black since quarter time, but it's shanked the kick to the point where I think she's just put it in for a rush behind through her own uprights. So that's not something you see every day. Bit of scoreboard pressure for South Croydon maybe, but important thing is it's only a minor score. Boronia will retain possession as Schmidley brings it out. Kick to have numbers under the footy. It's a 4v1 favouring the Hawks, as they'll look to bring it out with a handball over the top. Around it was Smith, who now gets the hands, gets it back, looking to go forward, still chaining the handballs together with the Hawks. It's in the hands of multiple players here as they run through the midfield and get the kick forward. Parrott's one of them there. It's a 2v1. Also there is Miller, who will pick up the footy, look to beat her player, and will do so. Miller handball over the top, just had to get rid of it. Only found a South Croydon opponent. Now Quirk's in there, who stepped up. Quirk steps in a forward 50 on the right boot. Numbers out the back. They've got plenty spare back there, the Bulldogs, they have this whole game. It's Rachel Giddens who will kick and was hit while kicking. The footy will fall into the waiting hands of Torcasio. Boundary side with Kate Green.
Just a quick observation with South Croydon. They've really got to stick on their opposition player, because they're leaving too many people, particularly Quirk, free when they really shouldn't.
It's a good pick up from Kate Green there, as there's going to be a ball up 25 metres out from the Boronia goal. So Boronia could get a major on the board here. Go a long, long way, especially against the wingers. Parrott will do the relief rucking, but tap out isn't to advantage, but the kick will fall straight into the waiting hands of Paige Dean, who takes a mark some 30, 35 metres out. Slight angle, she'll go back. South Croydon getting plenty of numbers in the goal scorer in case this does fall short, so it's Dean on the right boot. Kick might just fall short. South Croydon have the numbers there, as we just heard. And it's a rush behind.
Boundary.
Boundary side to Kate Green.
Taylor Black's back on the field.
Good to hear as South Croydon with the kick in, Brooke Curran to take this one. Thanks for joining us this morning on EFNL YouTube. Hang around this afternoon, senior men's game, South Croydon v Blackburn. And this game here is certainly living up to its expectations. 5-3, 33 Boronia leading South Croydon 4-4-28. Controlling the footy here are the Dogs. Nixon back in defence. Just taking her time before she... There's a 25-metre penalty, and I'm not sure who that was on, but...
You might have been the player on the mark, just kept creeping forward, Ron.
Well, it's going to work out well for South Croydon because they just didn't seem to have anything open at that time, so...
Boundary.
Now potentially it gives them an option. We'll go to the boundary in just a moment as South Croydon move this ball along. Got some players leading towards the far wing. Juggling mark did well then. That was good all. Just gets her kick away in time. Dangerous spot here for the Hawks. They've got to be careful. Black's underneath this one. Doing well there was Baldwin to hold that up as they clear this out. And they've got to play all by herself there in Jenna Bass. Says let's go down to the boundary with Kate Green.
Just with what Chris said, with the 25 to awarded to South Croydon, it was number 35 of Boronia. She was creeping forward.
Thanks there, Kate. As last possession means that South Croydon will have themselves a free kick here on the wing. And 11 minutes gone in this third quarter. And no goals have been kicked. And they'll certainly please Sean Bunkle, knowing they're going against the wind at the moment. Potentially it may have died down a little bit down at ground level. Is it still strong, Kate?
It's still pretty firm. There are stronger gusts, but it's still favouring the Eastfield Road side.
Smith run the tap out in the ruck, and Boronia will look to repel as a result, but South Croydon looking to keep them away. Just too much on the handball for Bass as the Bulldogs now have numbers behind the footy and will go backwards to go forwards in the form of Brooke Curran, but her kick was intercepted. So now a chance for Boronia to use the other side of the field here. Is couldn't quite take him on. Now drops to knees. Latino couldn't quite put enough pressure on. Is just running through the middle. Are the Boronia Hawks as Paige Deany's around it. And will now send the ball deep inside 50. And again the Bulldogs just with two spare behind the footy. So it's working well for them in defence, Ryan, but you almost think if you've got the wind, why not throw one or two extra around the footy or forward to really try and hit the scoreboard?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Boundary.
Let's go down the boundary, Kate Green.
It's almost like South Croydon's still in defensive mode. They're not actually attacking this quarter as much as what we would normally see with them.
Well, the Hawks looking to take the game on at the moment. That was Smith kicking it forward. It's going to come back to Jasmine Coney, who sends a high kick up towards the direction of Paige Dean. Doing well there was Wren. Phillips for the Hawks. Handball out. They're looking very quick at the moment. Here's Kufel, this time wrapped up in a tackle. And not a free kick. I thought that was holding the ball. Potentially not. Back inside 50 again, the Hawks. And South Croydon with all the numbers. They'll go forward through Wilkinson. Bouncing footy. Underneath this one is Cleo Smith. Martin's there. And so is Wellington for the Hawks. And free kick and a 25-metre penalty.
Boundary.
Let's go down boundary, Kate Green.
Unfortunately, Taylor said, why?
Well, yeah, good question. I'm not sure what was the free kick for.
Free kick was for tapping, tripping.
Thanks, Kate, as Wellington goes inside 50, bouncing ball again. South Croydon have got those numbers behind. Curran got the kick away to McMillan. She'll send it long out of attack, and the mark is taken by Denny for the Hawks. They're going to go inside 50, really pushing in this last 5 minutes, trying to get a goal, but South Croydon are just holding this up. McMillan, long kick out of defence, bouncing footy, might almost work for Hammersley, picked up by Coney. Had a teammate there in Kufel, got the handball on, great pressure. And as Prendergast earned herself a free kick.
Let's hope Pendergast can do something about this.
So Prendergast will just send it forward. Great bit of territory on the kick, but Quirk worked the player under it, and it was taken by Schmidley. Just kicks it straight back to Prendergast, I should say.
Been good today, Prendergast.
Been very, very good. Obviously kicked the first of the day, and he's now just playing more around the footy or a bit more defensively at this stage. He takes a player on and goes wide, looking for the hands of McMillan, who's now got the footy and chips one inside. Quirk's around it, so is the Tino. Ball will keep bouncing almost with a mind of its own. Vikov has the footy, throws it on the left. There's a one-on-one inside the centre square, which is important to win, and win does Kelsey Turns, who's been massive for the Hawks so far today. She'll look out to this broadcast side, nearly just in front of us, as Vikov's around the footy as well, but it will fall into the hands of Bass. Bass to Vikov, handball just over the back. Back to Bass, who couldn't quite take it, a bit fumbly, runs around the footy, so too is Curran. Big win over here to be made. And the 2v2 nullify each other. So it will be a ball up just inside the boundary line. Bit of a sore one there potentially for Jenna Bass, who's got 2 on the day. She's all right, she's back up. So, true centre wing, we will have a ball up. Top nearly tick over to 16 minutes played in this term as Phillips is going to wheel around on the right boot, just kicks it into space, puts it in front of a teammate, and that teammate, I believe, was Ebony Miller, who just sends it forward, but only to the hands of Heather McMillan, who will take the intercept mark.
Very impressive, particularly in this quarter, McMillan. Same as Brooke Curran.
Exactly right, as the kick will now find Curran. He's got a bit of work to do, but does well. Gets it on the right boot, looks forward. Vikov's under the footy, got hands to it, couldn't quite take it cleanly. Here's Nixon, who gets wrapped up in the tackle. And another ball up. So with 3.5 minutes to play in this term, you feel that if Boronia can keep the scoreboard looking like this or something similar on, they'll be very happy going into the final break.
They certainly will. South Croydon need a goal before 3/4 time. You think if that win holds up, and Quirk, who's been massive today, is going to earn herself a free kick. It was holding.
Boundary.
It's going down the boundary.
South Croydon are really getting killed in the clearances. Just they need to step up in that. And also Quirk is dangerous.
And her kicking towards the middle of the ground. Latino had a hand to it. Dean off the ground. Big contest here. Dean goes and wins the ball. Get the handball away. Smith inside 50. It's a one-on-one in front position. Couldn't quite get there was Murrell. Out the back. There she is again. It's Turns. South Croydon's defence holds up. And they'll clear this out to O'Toole. The mark is taken by Nixon. We've got 2.5 minutes to play in this third term. Nixon, the short kick to O'Toole. And they're going to work this on the broadcast side of the ground. Black did well, positioning herself to take the mark. That kick back in the hands of Rachel Quirk, who herself is, every chance she gets, she's going to look to take the game on, and through the middle of the ground. Down the corridor she goes, looking for Miller. Got a hand to it. Out the back, it's all numbers to South Croydon. The kick from O'Donnell towards the far side. It's turned over, and now for Burkett to go inside 50 for the Hawks. And there she is again. It's Turns. Marks on the chest. She's already got 3, and she'll be lining up for goal number 4. And if she kicks this will give the Hawks an 11-point lead going into the final quarter with 1.5 minutes to play. She'll take her 30 seconds before lining this one. For Kelsey Turns. Hasn't been too many goals kicked to this end of the ground. Turns has got 4. And Boronia stretched their lead to 11 points. 6-3-39, leading South Croydon 4-4-28 with just over a minute to play, Chris.
You're right, that's her 4th goal, I think, from her 4th shot at goal as well. So a great amount of accuracy. Actually, our first goal in this term coming in the 18th minute. Before that, it was 3 behinds against 1 behind.
And against a gust of wind that just picked up as she took the mark to get there.
And there you hear it, Kelsey Turns. New to Boronia this season. Kicked 1 last week, has got 4 today. So being an absolutely monstrous performance so far from her today. South Croydon need something quick. in this last minute or so, but Boronia will win the ball out of the middle and get to Paige Dean, who takes a mark. Latino standing on the mark. She's about 45 metres out as Dean will go quickly, about 20 seconds left. Boronia looking to get one more as a bit of a sucker punch down here as their body's dropping on the ball. And it's in the back, and Boronia will have a shot from maybe 20 metres out. Little to no angle.
It's 25.
And there's 25, so she'll be kicking more or less from the goal line. And as South Croydon, who have had the win this quarter as you hear the siren go, who needed to put a score on the board, that is absolutely criminal to give up not only a goal late, but now a goal like this from such a short distance, which is about as routine as you get as it's sent through the big sticks. And that is absolutely massive in the course of this game. Takes a scoreboard out to South Croydon 4-4-28. Boronia 7-3-45. The Hawks now with a 17-point lead, and possibly most importantly, the wind behind their back in this fourth quarter line.
Massive final quarter to come. The reigning premiers backs against the wall. They trail by 17 points. It's Boronia leading 7-3-45 to South Croydon 4-4-28.
Boundary.
We'll go down boundary quickly before we go to a break.
Yeah, just the two mistakes that South Croydon players have made is, I think, an indication of the frustration that they're not being successful in what they've been doing the last quarter two and this third quarter. So that I think that's where those unforced mistakes are coming from.
Thanks, Kate. We're going to go to a break before the final term. Boronia leading by 17 points. Deakin University match of the round, ANZAC Day out at Cheong Park, and what a third term from the Hawks. They kicked a couple goals late against the wind, and they now lead 7-3-45 to South Croydon 4-4-28. The reigning premiers, backs against the wall. Chris, I think we've got Kate Green down on the boundary. We'll speak to Simon in just a moment, and very unfortunate to see. I've just looked out at the bench, and it looks like Nicole Garner is on crutches, which is not what you want to see from a South Croydon perspective. Anyone, such an important player in the competition, and that looks like a bit of an injury there. Got the ice on the right foot, so hopefully it's nothing too serious, but I can imagine she won't be returning this afternoon. And we've got Kate Green still with Simon, but she's got a hasn't got her headset on, so she doesn't know we're waiting for this, because we're about to get started. She's about to bring us in. Kate?
And in machinations here. Simon, what's going forward for this quarter without giving anything away, as you mentioned?
No, we just want to make it a contest. We just feel like there's a few things that we could have done better, obviously, over the last two quarters of footy that, we just want to make sure that this quarter that we're playing our trademark footy and that we're making it a good, hard, even quarter of football, yeah?
Thanks, Simon. And I know you're not going to give it out. And number 21, she's out for the rest of the game.
That's Garner.
Garner. Yeah, you're out? Yeah, for the game. Not for the season, just for the game.
Thanks, Kate. As Boronia back in attack very quickly up forward. Latino trying to get the handball cut off here by the Hawks, and they'll go forward again towards Schmidley. Couldn't quite take the mark off the ground there. I believe that was Giddens towards the boundary line, and she follows up her good work with a tackle tight on the boundary line. We'll get a ball up there, less than a minute into this final quarter, and the Hawks are pretty much one goal away from icing this one. You'd have to imagine with the wind behind them, it's going to be a tough ask for the reigning premiers to get back into this contest, and they are still on top here, the Hawks. Dangerous kick forward, Schmidley juggling it, almost a free kick given away. There is going to be one, and that is against Marshall. Was very worried about Schmidley, and just felt that one coming, Chris. And
she's definitely got the wind behind her too.
Yeah, Kat Schmidley can just about ice this game for the Hawks, and this would be, I don't think this is even classified an upset, Chris. I think this is just the side that the Hawks are going to be this year.
That's exactly right. If they keep playing like this, you have no questions as to why. Schmidley's been moved back forward since the third quarter. Kick is a bit skinny. We just sneaked in from behind. So, bit of a let-off for the Bulldogs. We heard it half-time. Sean Bunkle said he was going to make some changes to his side just to defend a bit better, and that was putting Schmidley back. He's now gone forward again, and he's getting into some hufters with the South Croydon's players. And go inside to Kate Green.
Boundary with Sean, you've got to be very pleased with the last two quarters. What's the message and game plan going ahead without giving away too much?
Yeah, I think, look, in the fourth quarter, obviously, we get the win back, but it's a real simple game for us. If we compete at the footy and we defend the way we did in the last 2 quarters, it's just about going back to what works. Just keep working hard. And we're really pleased with how we've started so far. And once we get it in that forward line, like, we've got the right balance down there now. So South have been dropping some numbers back, but we've got some really competitive players deep that are providing a contest now. So I think we look really dangerous in there. And if we just keep setting up like we are really well behind the footy with our mids holding out, we'll just keep getting those re-entries and we'll eventually break them down.
Quirk's been very dangerous in the centre and around the mid and that.
Oh yeah, 100%. She's just so versatile. She today has played for us as a mid. She's played as a ruck. She's great at ground level, good in the air. She has even gone down back as well and set up and taken some nice marks behind play. So yeah, there's nothing she can't do at the moment.
All the best, Sean.
Thank you. Cheers.
So it was 2 kick-ins from South Croydon that did not go well at all. One straight to Rachel Quirk, who kicked it behind, and one that went straight out for a last touch rule for Boronia to bring it back in. But they've not been able to make them pay just yet, as Schmidley limps away from that contest. Maybe copped a bit of a sore one on the ankle there temporarily. As Perrott laying a tackle, so to his Schmidley now as the ball's going to drop out to Quirk, who puts on the accelerator a bit. Kick was smothered, but it's dropped in the snap. He's just going to go through for behind. Didn't quite have the angle there. Was really Grace Morrell.
Boundary.
So go boundary starting into Kate Green.
The initial tackle and that, very lucky that the umpire couldn't see that it was actually high. Hence all the ohs from the crowd.
Well, particularly, Kate, when you actually go down to that Boronia into the ground and obviously interview Sean before, just the you can hear the bench and how excited the girls are at the moment, as well as the fans behind the fence. Got a great following here today, and they're very excited about this performance, as they should be. Here's South Croydon clearing it out. They trail 4-4-28 to 7-6-48. 20-point lead for the Hawks. They've moved this along nicely. Here's Martin. Problem is everyone is pushed up so far forward. They haven't got too much ahead. And it's a turnover anyway. It's in the hands of Denny for the Hawks. South Croydon getting some numbers back. Picked up by Phillips. Got it off to Smith. Well done there by Claire. To Dean. Forward she goes. Turns in front position. Picked up nicely. And the kick towards a dangerous Schmidley, but South Croydon's defence hold up on that occasion, Chris. And Boronia moved to 7-7-49 to 4-4-28 South Croydon, 21-point lead 5 minutes into this last quarter.
Yeah, so Schmidley had 3 last week. Still yet to kick one at this stage today, but they've had other players stepping up big for Boronia as South Croydon to clear their lines. That's a brilliant contested mark by Jennifer Wren, who will look to go forward now, but kick can only find the hands of Bethany Goodall for South Croydon, who's taken in a tackle and is caught holding the ball. So Boronia with a chance to go forward again here. South Croydon struggling to get any territory. Taylor Black's in there one-on-one in the forward 50 by herself. Well, they can't get the ball at the moment as Paige Dean gets it on the right foot, looking to get it over the back. Ball will drop. Perrott is around, and so to his turns. Turns applying the tackle, and it will be called for a ball up. So maybe 25 metres out from the Boronia goal. You feel like Boronia kick the next one. This as a context is all sealed and signed as Turns puts it inside 50. Quirk was there. He's been everywhere around the pitch so far today. We talked about Monica Latino being everywhere, but Rachel Quirk has been there doing just as good a job, if not better, at this stage for her team. As the Hawks will look to bring the footy back in. Just look for a short lead up to Coney and we'll find that. So mark taken by Jasmine Coney, who won't look for a shot. We just look to centre it. There's a lot of players in the goal square. It's going to bobble out the back in the hands of the South Croydon defenders for now as the footy's dropped. Looking for a rush behind maybe. Ball was thrown up, couldn't get booed to it. It's absolute bedlam. Someone hit the goalpost and the ball's gone down and out for a rush behind. So a lot of bodies dropping around the footy.
Boundary.
As another rush behind takes a margin to 22 points. Kate Green's on the boundary.
Simon should be very happy with his backs because they've been totally under the plump for the last 2 and nearly a half quarters, and they've been really working hard.
Dangerous here for the Hawks. Phillips, handball over the top. Coney can finish this one off and ice the game for Boronia. They're 8th for the game, 8-8, 56 to South Croydon 4-4-28. 7 minutes gone in this final quarter, and that will be all she wrote. That is a 28-point margin, and well, you tipped this, Chris, apparently, according to the record. Didn't tip it on the broadcast, but you saw this one coming.
I'm not sure how much I could claim that, but yeah, no, it's been a really interesting game because obviously each team have had their dominance in certain areas of the field. You know, Boronia have dominated the centre stoppage. South Croydon have had their spare numbers back. I just feel like, you know, obviously I don't want to hand off too much criticism because these coaches on the boundary line know a lot more about footy than I do, but I just feel like in the third term, South Croydon had that win behind them. Just feel like they could have afforded to maybe take one of those magnets out from the defence and push them further forward and really attack, because there was only one major or two majors kicked in that term and it went to Boronia, and now you feel like with that one, this game might be all she wrote. It was the chase down tackle by Lily Grace Moore, who will get the free kick, is like you said, 4-4-28, plays 8-8-56 here. An absolutely stunning display from Boronia, who, coming off the back of an 80 or so point win last week, are really cementing their spot as contenders in the Premier Division so far. Under coach Cheong Park, as the kick will go wide and will be out of bounds. So that'll be the last kick. South Croydon bring it back in, but
well, it's exciting for the competition.
Boundary.
It is definitely. As you go boundary side of Kate Green.
Ryan, just on a side note, because he picked South Croydon during this broadcast, I think we make him keep that.
I agree. I think we take off a point there.
Absolutely.
Tipping comp.
Because he wasn't honest.
So Boronia back inside 50 again. They don't look like they want to slow down. They want to keep putting this score on the board and boost that percentage again. The tackle by McLennan. Smith for the Dogs.
With that being said as well, Ryan, for South Croydon, they've been beaten today, but it's, well, obviously they've had an off day. Some of their players haven't quite been able to step up to the occasion, but obviously they'll probably walk out of this with a loss, barring a miracle, but you know, they can still take plenty into their round 3 matchup and going ahead in the season. Sure, it's not worked out for them today, but there's no glaring warning signs for them. There's still been players on the pitch and systems that have definitely worked.
You're right, and Quirk here from the free kick lines up for a goal, who's been dominant today. But you are correct, and the margin has blown out a little bit in this last quarter, but I mean, we go back to late in the third quarter, they were pushing forward South Croydon, and I think they just needed one goal just to get a bit of that confidence and momentum. They just have not been able to swing the momentum back in their favour after Boronia have controlled it. And I think the key takeaways from this game is just going to be the fact that this Boronia side, this new Boronia team, is going to be a force to be reckoned with in Premier Division. Again, a big mark there. Lily Grace Murrell, who's had her fair share of the footy today. And she'll just boot it long towards the top of the goal square. Chance off the ground. Did she get a ball to her boot? Not quite. Did Bass, who has 3 goals herself. That moves Boronia to 8-11-59. South Croydon 4-4-28. 31-point lead. And looks like she might be okay. Potentially a bit sore after that. Oh, in fact, it could be 8-10-58 to 4-4-28.
So I look to bring it out now with the Dogs. If they want any chance of winning this game, they need to go and they need to go quick and get something on the board here as they trail by a margin of 30 points as it stands. As the kick inside 50 for the Hawks is marked by Angelina Torcasio. It's on the Box Hill VFLW list, as a matter of fact. He finds a target, couldn't quite take the mark. I believe was Terence, who has 4 on the day. Been excellent for the Hawks as Quirk is around the footy. And another player who's been absolutely massive, Rachel Quirk, leading by example. Obviously, the captain of this side almost deserves a goal at this stage, just to sign off on an excellent ANZAC Day performance from herself. As wrapping up her opponent in the tackle was McLennan. Handball comes out, footy spill. Boronia have some space here. Going to go to Vikov, who kicked one last week. Will look to make it 2-2. Ball's going to get out the back and bounce through, and she'll do just that.
Her first year of footy.
First year of footy, as you just heard Kate Green say. She's played. This is her second game. She got best on votes in last week's performance, along with a goal. And she has a goal to put down on her tally again in this one, as the bounce favoured her. But she did all the work, did all the right stuff. Vikov makes it 2 goals in 2 weeks. And Boronia make it a 36-point margin, I should say.
Yeah, well and truly on top, and that margin is just blown out. This is, very understandable now how they put Whitehorse to the sword last week. Just watching the way this game play out, they will not take the foot off the pedal. They are just
boundary.
Let's go down to the boundary, Kate Green.
And to think they haven't got the likes of a few players like Delta Greeno in there as well. I can predict that this game is going to be one with a lot of views with regards to other premier sides wanting to really have a look at Boronia.
Chance of South Croydon to get one back. There is Black. We got the ball, but wrapped up by Wellington.
Did very well to keep that ball in the tackle there, Wellington.
Yeah,
handball
certainly.
got out. It was more or less put a goal on for South Croydon without needing to look any further.
And they've had Black one out, but just haven't been able to get those forward 50 entries to give her that opportunity. Free kick going South Croydon's way, and it looks like it'll be going to Tanika Martin. So a chance for South Croydon to get one back. To bring the margin back to 5 goals if she kicks this.
Well, there's barely a breeze at the moment on the ground.
So Tanika Martin comes in, and she has just missed it. So just a minor score. Looked good off the boot, but just a minor score, 4-5-29 to 9-10-64. Boronia leading final quarter.
Wellington look to the far side. She has an open teammate in Georgia Baldwin, who's looked down the line. It's off the hands of the Bulldogs, playing with Sarah O'Toole, with a handball over the top. Favours the Boronia team, so they'll look to repel now. Big tackle there late on this Bulldog player. And it looks a bit worse for wear after that tackle. There's a lot of momentum going into that one. I'll check on her and make sure she's all right.
That was a Wren.
Jennifer Wren there had a very good start to this match, but her impact has come and gone along with her side. She looks okay. Just getting a bit of a breathing. She'll go at it again in the ruck with Rachel Quirk. So they go at it. Quirk wins the tap. Wren down again. And the umpire's calling for Jennifer Wren to come off, so she'll just go in the hands of a trainer. We hope she's okay. I'm sure the Bulldogs will get someone else back to replace her on the field in an instant, but we'll have a ball up again. True centre wing, far side on the scoreboard, and as he looks to come out through Paige Dean, he couldn't quite take the footy cleanly, and now they're going to look to bring it out through Curran as the other Bulldogs. As the kick will drop, Mark couldn't quite be taken. Another South Croydon player down looking sore. As they'll look to get inside their forward 50. Rachel Quirk with a chase down tackle, and that's holding the ball. So it has been an absolute 5-star captain's performance from Quirk. As Boronia will look to win it in the middle. There's a free kick going the way of the Hawks. So everything's coming up Boronia as we tick over into 16 minutes played in this 4th term. So I'll look to go out the far side and find a mark in number 23, Lily Grace Moore.
So they're on their way to their 2nd win in a row to start season 2025. They only won the 2 games last year. They're already going to match that deep in their forward half. They've given away a free kick, and Rachel Giddens will look to play on straight away. Finds Brooke Curran. Back pocket, and the sting of this game has now officially gone out. Here's Martin at half back. They probably just haven't had enough opportunities up forward in this 2nd half. It's just been a really dominant Boronia display. Monica Latino got the handball off to Black, moving the ball down to Prendergast. Big tackle late on Miller. And looking at next week's game, South Croydon will have a chance to respond in the grand final rematch against the Eastern Devils right here at Cheong Park. As the Hawks, they travel up to Vermont Recreation Reserve to play the Eagles, and on this performance they're going to go in as red-hot favourites. Here's Martin, forward. Bouncing ball, didn't really favour anyone, but Sadler did well, got the handball off. Here's Nixon, high kick up and under, standing underneath this. Doing well was Denny in the front position for the Hawks. We'll get a ball up inside 50 for South Croydon coming into the last 3 minutes of this game. Tapped down by Quirk. And there has been a free kick awarded, and it is going in the direction of Quirk. A lot of free kicks this afternoon, or this morning, should I say.
Boundary.
Top stars are going to boundary. Kate Green.
Free kicks have definitely favoured Boronia. I've stopped counting.
So Boronia have been applying a lot of the pressure as this game has gone on, which is maybe a result of that count as Perrott gets it forward and is looking for the hands of Cleo Smith, who has to do a bit of work there below her knees. And fully brought to ground, unwrapped up. So like I said, Ryan, Boronia take on Vermont next week. Do have a good chance to go 3-0 off the back of this performance. Of course, you don't want to start deciding results weeks in advance, but they'll certainly back themselves off this performance. And for the Bulldogs, absolutely. a chance to bounce back. Obviously, today hasn't gone their way, but we saw they were definitely good enough to beat Eastern Devils last season. They did so in the grand final, I believe, and they'll have a chance to bounce back as well as the ball come out to this near side where we're on the broadcast as Goodall gets free of her marker, and with Tholen on the right boot looking forward as the intercept mark is taken by Georgia Baldwin. He's had a bit of a quieter game today, but he's on the Box Hill VFLW list. The defence as a whole for Boronia has done quite well. So it's out the far side as we enter the final minute of our fixture here on Anzac Day. The first of two on the EFNL Facebook and YouTube streams, called South Croydon taking on Blackburn in the senior men's competition. I believe that starts at 2:20. I think our streams run from 1:15. Is that right?
That is correct, Chris.
For the pre-game, so stay tuned for that. Maybe go get yourself a bit of lunch and come back, because that game will be an absolute belter.
Boundary.
Boundary starts Kate Green.
Gentlemen, I'm going to grab Quirk for the interview, end of the game. You good with that?
Perfect by me. Sounds good. She's been absolutely excellent so far in this game. As it's ticking over into the final 10 seconds. The scoreboard will read South Croydon 4-5-29, Boronia 9-10-64. The Hawks will be 35-point victors on this Anzac Day morning, as it is a brilliant win for the side who moved to 2-0. Not quite South Croydon's day themselves. They will move to 1-1 on the season. As we mentioned pre-game and throughout this broadcast, how closely competitive this Premier Division women's competition is getting, and another stunning example of that here. As the Hawks walk out 35-point victors, and that a single goal kickers too. South Croydon, Taylor Black, Katie Prendergast, Monica Latino and Tanika Martin. Interestingly enough, South Croydon did not score a major after quarter time. On the other hand, for Boronia under coach Sean Bunkle, they get their second win in as many games. It was Kelsey Turns, North Melbourne VFLW listed player, kicking 4. Jenna Bass chiming in with 3 herself. And then singles to Clara Vikov, who in her first season of footy makes it 2 goals in 2 games. And 1 to Jasmine Coney. So we're waiting for Rachel Quirk for an interview. Ryan, who were your standout performers on the field today?
Well, I think that that person in question there, Rachel Quirk, was arguably best on. Just her work rate around the ground was unbelievable. Was looking to take the game on every chance she got through the corridor of the ground. Very impressed by Kelsey Turns up forward. She kicked the 4 goals and was really lively, particularly in that first half and then the third quarter as well, where the game was there to be won. She really stood out. And then some of those other players that we're seeing for the first time from our perspective that are new to the club this year, Jasmine Coney, I thought her work rate was really good, really positive. Kat Schmidley was really good as well. And a lot of those players have really stood out. For the South Croydon, I think their defence was under extreme amount of pressure, and I thought some of their best players were the likes of a Brooke Curran, who was deep in defence, and I believe Kate has got Rachel Quirk with us at the moment.
Okay, guys, I'm just handing over the headphones.
Thanks there, Kate.
Ryan Long, media
as
manager.
We can hear it now, still talking through the microphone.
It's just over there.
Rachel, congratulations on the win today. A massive performance against the reigning premiers on their home deck. How did you see it out on the field?
Yeah, it was fun. They're such a good competition. They have been for a few years now. We kind of came in last year and sort of had a bit of a rude awakening, I guess, in terms of what Prem footy is like. But I'm just super proud of the girls. We've had a really good pre-season. We've got some new players in, and all of our stuff's starting to come together. So it's really fun out there.
And some of those new players to the club this season, Kelsey Turns, Jasmine Coney, a lot of these players, Kat Schmidley, thought they were really impressive, and their work rate around the ground as well was really top-notch for a Premier Division.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, they're young guns, but like you said, it's their work rate that is what we want to celebrate. And it doesn't matter if the skill executes or not. It's their second, their third efforts and their pressure that we love, and that's what we want them to keep doing.
Rachel, Christopher Cordis here. Congratulations on a stunning win. We just said before in the broadcast, South Croydon didn't manage to kick a goal after quarter time. How impressive was that defensive performance from your side?
Yeah, it's that's pretty impressive. I didn't realise that. I guess we get kind of stuck up in the game sometimes. But like I said, we've been working really hard on what our lines are trying to do, and then getting that connection between the lines has sort of been where we get stuck sometimes. But today it really looked quite good. So super proud of the girls.
And next week you're travelling to Vermont away. Do you back yourself to make it 3-0? How are the vibes at the moment?
Yeah, vibes are high. We're not going to get too far ahead of ourselves. There's still lots we need to work on, but the vibes at training have been really good. It's competitive, it's fun. Sean is really challenging us. The culture's really good. So I'm going to back us in most weeks, but if we slip up, we just take that as a lesson and we keep rolling.
Well, Rachel, thank you for giving up some time. The girls are waiting down there to sing the song. Congratulations, a fantastic game from you and the side.
Yeah.
Big winners today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks there to Rachel Quirk joining us after the game. Boronia winning 9-10-64 to South Croydon 4-5-29. And Quirk, the skipper of the side, was fantastic.
Gentlemen, I've got one more for you. South Croydon for you.
And I believe we've got Brooke Curran with us in just a moment.
Brooke Curry for you. Here you go. It's
Brooke, commiserations on the result, but fantastic performance from you. I thought you and the other girls in defence really held up strong against a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it was red hot today, that's for sure. They definitely smashed us in the clearances, which made it pretty intense in the back line. We butchered it on the turnover a little bit, but it's round 2. We can clean it up from here, and we know that they're our mistakes, which is fine. Something we can easily clean up.
Is that just the Premier Division as well? I mean, Boronia only won the 2 games last year. Now they've already won 2. South Belgrade beat Eastern Devils last week. It looks like this division is just getting tighter and tighter, and it might be one of those seasons where anyone who makes the finals could be a chance at winning it this year.
Yeah, it's a massive shake-up, which is great for the league, great for female footy. I mean, you can't really ask for more than a good competitive league. Us and the Devils have definitely been on top probably the last 3 years, with South Belgrave and Whitehorse in there as well. So it's good to have a lot more women coming through playing great quality footy, so you can't ask for much more.
And Brooke, Christopher Cordis here, just obviously a loss today, but what can you speak to the mindset of how do you take away from this, debrief from this game, and then get ready for the Eastern Devils next week?
Yeah, look, I think we know what our mistakes are. We know what we're doing wrong. We're probably missing a few. We had our captain go off in, I think, the second quarter, which was a big blow, to be honest. Having her not out there, she's a big clearance getter for us. But look, coming up to the Devils, it's a big rivalry with us. I think hopefully that rivalry will give us a bit of fire in the belly, push us over the line. But we know we can play good footy, and we know that we can recover from here. So that's all that matters.
Thanks for your time, Brooke. Unfortunately not a win today, but I'm sure you'll be bouncing back next week. Really well performed by yourself, and looking forward to seeing South Croydon across the year.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks there, Brooke Curran there. Was really impressive in defence today, Chris, and we'll let her go because the reserves game about to start on the field there. Great to have the access to both players from both sides this afternoon. But your final thoughts before we wrap things up? I don't know, we haven't got, usually we'll have the Hoyts Eastland best on ground, but that is just for the Saturday games. Who would you, if you had, I'm putting you on the spot here for your 1, 2, 3, but do you have a 1, 2, 3 today?
I'd put Rachel Quirk with 3. I don't think there were any surprises there. She was absolutely everywhere, and a real captain's performance from herself. Go 2 for Kelsey Turns. Obviously, not just the fact that she kicked 4 on the day, but if you look at the amount of shots at goal she had, and really at times the limited chances she had to put the footy to the big sticks. Really, really accurate in front of goal and really impressive. And my 1 vote, I'm going to go Jennifer Wren. Although, South Croydon didn't have the best of day, her impact was a bit in and out, but when they were doing well, everything was going through her and she was going really impressively.
I've gone my 3 with Boronia. I've gone 1 to Jenna Bass, who kicked 3 goals, and I thought was really impressive early on in the game. I'm missing a lot of players out in this, but I've gone 2 returns, as you said, the 4 goals. I just thought she was a major difference to this side, having her up forward this year that they haven't had. And then the 3 to Quirk. I just thought Quirk was the match winner, dominant in the ruck, and then her work rate around the ground, along with some of these younger players and new players, was really impressive. So they're my 1, 2, 3. Chris, we're going to head off. Kate, have you got your 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, Quirk, definitely 3 turns just for the fact that she kicked those, I think it was 4 goals.
Yeah, 4 in the end.
And then I'm going to give it to Vikov.
Yeah, Vikov,
just incredible for her first season of football.
Yeah.
On the South Croydon side, Pendergast, Latino, and a quiet workhorse down there, McMillan.
McMillan was, underrated. Really held up well under a lot of pressure, but that's all we've got time for, I think. That's a very interesting game today out here. Very impressive by the Hawks. They've made a statement early on. Be interesting to see how they go. But Kate, thank you again for your hard work today.
Thank you.
And you'll be sticking around for the senior men's game today, as well as you, Chris. Fantastic calling from you.
Thank you, sir, and always a pleasure alongside you.
And I just realised, pronouncing your name, I just heard you say it before, is Curtis.
Curtis.
I've been running with Curtis for over a year. You've never pulled me up on it.
You are very far from the first person to make that mistake, so it's all good.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'll try and remember for the senior men's game today. Thank you for your work, Chris. Megan Green upstairs will be hanging around as well for the senior men's game. Lee Green never leaves. He's absolute workhorse, so a big afternoon ahead. It is his office. Thank you for joining us on EFNL YouTube. It's the Hawks, 9-10-64, South Croydon, 4-5-29.